One of the world's greatest treasure hunts has been in the works for the past 60 years, the hunt for the Amber Room. This incredible piece of artwork, stolen by Nazis from Russia during World War II, hasn't been seen since 1941. The Amber Room is made up of unique artistry and a mastery of architectural skill, as well as an embodiment of the history of many great Prussian and Russian leaders, making the disappearance of this national treasure a true loss to the people and culture of Russia. The original construction of the Amber Room began in 1701. Commissioned by Frederick I, the first king of Prussia, the room was installed in the Charlottenburg Palace in Berlin, Germany. The room was designed by German sculptor and architect Andreas Schlüter, who was known for his sculptures of monarchs in the Royal Palace in Berlin. The construction of the room was led by Gottfried Wolfram, a court amber master, until 1707, when the work was passed on to two other amber specialists. This room is fashioned of panels made from amber that are installed onto the walls and decorated with various gemstones and gold. The Amber Room has a very distinctive place in history. In 1716, it was given as a gift to Peter the Great of Russia from King Frederick II of Prussia. This generous gift secured a Prussian-Russian alliance during the Great Northern War. The room was shipped in 18 boxes to St. Petersburg, where it was intended to be on display in the palace of Peter the Great, but instead was stored in the cellars until the middle of the century. In 1743, the Winter Palace was built as a new residence for Empress Elizabeth, who requested that the Amber Room be installed there. The Amber Room was installed in the Winter Palace 3 years later and was the site of multiple official receptions in its time there. In 1755, Elizabeth had the room moved to the Catherine Palace in Pushkin. The space in Catherine Palace was considerably larger, and additional amber was shipped in from Berlin to complete the expansion. This expansion included renovations such as adding mosaics, mirrors, chests, and porcelain, and was refurbished 3 times before 1763. Following these renovations, the Amber Room was worth a total of $142 million. Some of Russia's greatest monarchs, such as Catherine the Great and Alexander II, made use of the Amber Room. It had become a symbol of Russian heritage and culture. The Amber Room is so renowned in part because of its distinctive architectural and artistic elements. The artistic style is a mix of Baroque and Rococo. After the 18th century renovations, the room was 180 square feet and included 6 tons of amber and 22 total units. The room includes ornate mirrors, jewel mosaics, and 565 candles. The 4 mosaics are made from a variety of Florentine gemstones. Due to its exquisite architecture and historical context, the Amber Room is often referred to as the 8th wonder of the world. Restoration Chief Alexander Krylov says, "The entire room is a gigantic piece of jewelry." Hitler's Operation Barbarossa, which was his plan to invade and overtake the Soviet Union, launched 3 million Germans into the Soviet Union in 1941, where the Amber Room was housed. Curators at the Catherine Palace made an attempt to disassemble and hide the room, but found the panels were in danger of crumbling. They instead tried to hide the room behind a layer of wallpaper. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful in hiding the room from the Germans. German soldiers tore the room down, packed it into 27 crates, and had it shipped to Königsberg within 36 hours. It was reinstalled in Königsberg's Castle Museum in Germany, where it was exhibited for 2 years. The museum director, Alfred Rode, looked after the room for the next 2 years and took the opportunity to study it as well. As the end of the war neared, he was advised to crate the room away in an attempt to protect it from any potential dangers. 6 months later, Allied bombs destroyed the Königsberg Museum, and the Amber Room has not been seen since. The whereabouts of the Amber Room remain a mystery. There are a multitude of theories regarding the fate of the Amber Room, none of which have been confirmed. The most common theory is that the room was destroyed in the Königsberg bombing in 1944. However, there was at least 6 months between the time it was suggested that the room be packed away and the bombing of the museum, leaving many to believe that the Amber Room was no longer in Königsberg by the time the museum was destroyed. One popular theory is that the Amber Room was loaded onto a ship, usually speculated to be the Wilhelm Gustloff, a German military transport ship, prior to the bombing. However, that ship was sunk to the bottom of the Baltic Sea by a Soviet Union submarine before the end of World War II. Since then, the ship has been dived, but no evidence of the Amber Room was found. Some people believe the Amber Room never left Königsberg and remains hidden in an underground bunker, while others believe that Stalin had a second Amber Room and the Nazis stole a fake. Many worried experts claim that if the room were found, it would be in very poor condition. The closest anyone has come to recovering the Amber Room was during a raid of an office in Germany by art detectives who had received a tip. They discovered a man in possession of an original mosaic panel from the Amber Room. The owner was the son of a German soldier, but did not know where his father had gotten the piece. The most recent major operation to find the room occurred in Poland in 2015. Researchers had a lead directing them to an underground bunker that had been active toward the end of the war. Unfortunately, after months of preparation, the expediters came up empty-handed. The speculation that the Amber Room is hidden underground somewhere in Europe is, at this time, the most likely possibility if it is still in existence. The Amber Room remains lost, but the search continues. A second Amber Room is currently on display at the Tsarskoye Selo State Reserve Museum outside of St. Petersburg. The reconstruction effort began in 1979 and wasn't completed until 2003 when it was inaugurated at the Catherine Palace. The reconstruction cost a total of $11 million. A few original pieces of the room found in Germany, such as a chest of drawers and a Florentine mosaic, are included in the reconstruction. The first visitors entered the new Amber Room on the 300th anniversary of the original. While the reconstruction of the Amber Room is incredible, most who had seen both the original before the war as well as the reconstruction have said the original was much more awe-inspiring. This reconstruction does not have the same place in history and culture that the original piece experienced. It is impossible to recreate that treasure. The search for this lost piece of artistic magnificence and historical representation continues to be an imperative effort to recover what was stolen more than 70 years ago. While there is strong evidence that the Amber Room is lost, the hope of recovering such a treasure drives the continued search, as it should.